In this video, we're going to be properly breaking down our soup station. To do so, we're going to cover turning their heating unit off, draining the hot water, dumping the hot water, removing the soups, and properly storing them.
So, when you're breaking down the soup station, because it works on a water heating system to heat up from underneath, we're going to make sure that we turn off all the switches and drain the water. That can be found underneath here. Underneath here, there are 3 sets of these dials. One, 2, and 3. You want to turn them all the way to the left when indicated that it's off. Also notice that the red light turns off as well. On, off, on, off.
Even if the heating unit is left on to just 5 degrees, overnight with no water in the system, this can destroy the entire heating unit, leaving the soup station unfunctional, causing a loss of product and profit. So please always turn it off.
You want to make sure red lights are off. So again, turn all the dials to the off position. Next, we're going to go over draining the water from the heating system. Underneath, you'll also find a bucket with a cutout. This cutout is so you can properly place it underneath our draining system. Let's take a closer look. To drain the system, we have a series of different levers here. Right now they're all in the off position. We've already earlier drained 2 of them, so we're going to leave those alone. As you can see, I've already released the water in the last one because the valve is now facing down, which is the on position. Remember, this water is very hot, so please use caution. Turn the valve to the off position and remove the bucket. Afterwards, you always want to make sure that you have a rag handy to wipe up any drips of water to prevent the wood from rotting underneath. In the back in the kitchen is our dunk sink. Always dump any water in the dunk sink. Now that we have successfully turned off the heating unit and disposed of the hot water, we're ready to take our hot soups from the day to the back to get prepped and stored for tomorrow's use. First, you're going to need a couple of things. A large rolling cart and a bucket with some sanitizer solution in it. Every soup has a label. I like to put the label down so I know what soup I'm working with. Then I take the clip and I put it in the sanitizing solution. After that, I remove the soup. Remember, the heating unit causes hot steam to come from underneath, so you want to be careful not to get burned. Awesome job. Now that we're done loading up the cart with the soups, we want to make sure that we have a rag handy to remove the soup dividers. These 2 can also be pretty hot, and that's why you want to have the rag handy. Now let's go to the back and prep our soups for tomorrow's use. So I already found us a nice, open, clean station to continue working on. I've also found us some PPE, some personal protective equipment, or rubber gloves. Whenever working with food that might be consumed by our guests or customers, you always want to be wearing rubber gloves to prevent the passage of germs. I grabbed our Lexons, which is the name of these deep pans that we use to dumping the remaining soup in. I've already labeled which soup I'm going to be dumping into each Lexon. This is why you want to have your labels ready. New England clam chowder. We're going to remove the lid and face it bottom up so we don't get any soup on the counter. And then see your ladle on top of the lid. Again, this can be very hot, so please be careful. You might think it's empty, but there's still a little bit in there, and we never like to waste here at Mystic Market. Make sure you get all of it. Afterwards, the ladle and the lid go back into the pot and get ready to move on to the next one. 3, 2. After done pouring your soups, you're ready to load them up onto a rolling rack, which I've already taken the liberty to do for you. But be mindful. Whenever you're loading your soups, you always want to keep your meat-based soups towards the bottom of the rack and your vegetable-based soups towards the top. And this is why. It's to prevent cross-contamination. For instance, say I have a meat-based soup at the top of the rack and a vegetable-based soup on the lower rack. If I happen to spill some of that meat-based soup into my vegetable soup, it's cross-contaminated. It's no longer considered a vegetarian soup. So always keep your vegetable-based soups at the top and your meat-based soups at the bottom, and you'll be good to go. After that, just roll it into our refrigerator. Lastly, each and every time you depart the cooler, you want to make sure that you shut the door.
If not shut properly, the cooler will not maintain a safe temperature, which is 33 degrees to 39 degrees.
After you've properly shut down the soup station, you want to go back through and make sure that it's thoroughly cleaned. Grab some cleaner and a rag. Spray into the rag always, because you don't want to spray onto food that potential guests might be eating. Go through and thoroughly clean up any spills that you might see. This will help prevent the passage of germs or bacteria growing that could potentially make our guests sick. After you've thoroughly shut down the soup station and cleaned it, you want to make sure that you set up tomorrow's team for success by restocking it. Underneath the soup station, you will also find some bread, some crackers, also you'll find containers and lids. Now you've set your team up tomorrow for success. Great job.